Changing paradigms. In Buddhism, there is a saying that became my new mantra, replacing the mantra, "Everyone always leaves me," with, "I will become a Buddha for the benefit of all." Being a Buddha means an awakened soul or enlightened being, and it is available to everyone. It is similar to being the Christ. Jesus became the Christ when he rose above the illusion and saw all beings as equal. Jesus saw the truth of the world, that we are all one, and that an eye for an eye just makes the whole world blind. If we really want to save humanity, we have to apply love and forgiveness even to those who persecute us. We all have the opportunity to become the Buddha or the Christ in this lifetime, and it doesn't matter what religion you are affiliated with. Love has no religion. The first part of this saying is key. "I will become" means you have to do the work and heal yourself first. This is the part that we tend to avoid because it means we have to look at ourselves and take responsibility for our actions and our life, all of it. It means you can't play the victim role anymore and blame others. It means waking up to the realization that you chose your life and continue to choose it every second of the day. It means you have to forgive yourself for everything, including the not-so-stellar things you have done. And most importantly, "I will become" means self-love. I know many spiritual people who are stuck. They're unable or unwilling to go deep and look within, flitting from workshop to workshop, class to class, but never fully participating in the change. They get stuck in their heads, living from intellect and from a false sense of superiority from having spiritual knowledge. The spiritual ego is another trap that keeps us in prison. When our mind becomes crammed up with spiritual knowledge, there will be no room for living from the heart. Sacred writings are beneficial in stimulating desire for inward realization, if one stanza at a time is slowly assimilated. Otherwise, continued intellectual study may result in vanity, false satisfaction, and undigested knowledge. From Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Spiritual distractions. In the midst of my awakening, I'll never forget one day what my friend said when he came over and walked into my bedroom. "Coming to your home is like going to a seminar." Beaming inside, I took it as a compliment. I made my environment a reflection of all the change I was trying to accomplish, not really comprehending then that changing the outside, my environment, was not going to change my inside, my consciousness. There was a time I couldn't leave the house without my protection crystals, my books, my angel cards, the special bill in my wallet, or my crystal jewelry. While these outer things can provide a degree of help and protection or reminders, they are not the cause of change. Be wary not to depend on outer things to give rise to inner change. Only you and your beliefs can promote change and growth. From the profound book, Power versus Force by David Hawkins. When I first encountered kinesiology, I was instantly amazed by the potential I saw. It was the wormhole between two universes, the physical and the mind and spirit, an interface between dimensions. In a world full of sleepers lost from their source, here was a tool to recover that lost connection with the higher reality and demonstrate it for all to see. I proceeded to test every substance, thought, and concept I could think of, and had my students and research assistants do the same. Then I noticed a strange thing. Whereas all subjects went weak from negative stimuli such as fluorescent lights, pesticides, and artificial sweeteners, students of spiritual disciplines who had advanced their level of awareness did not go weak as ordinary people did. Something important and decisive had shifted in the subject's consciousness, apparently as they realized that they weren't at the mercy of the world, but rather affected only by what their minds believed. Perhaps the very process of progress towards enlightenment could be shown to increase man's ability to resist the mutability of existence. Dr. David Hawkins was in World War II, medical school, psychiatry, agnostic, fatal illness, and at 38 was about to die. In his last anguishing moments thought, if there was a God, he cried out to God, if you do exist, help me now, completely surrendered. When he came to, he had a presence around him and within him that stayed with him for months. He basically was experiencing his God self only, or the infinite oneness. It replaced his small ego self. He saw that all of mankind was motivated by inner love, but simply became unaware, living their lives as sleepers unawakened to the perception of who they really are. He discovered or rediscovered a way to measure human consciousness through kinesiology, which is now a well-established science based on the testing of an all or none muscle response stimulus. A positive stimulus provokes a strong muscle response, and a negative stimulus results in a demonstrable weakening of the test muscles. Dr. Hawkins treated thousands of new patients every year and saw that the origin of emotional sickness lay in people's beliefs that they were their personalities. He has such transitioned from the physical body but left an indelible mark on the world. The power of your belief is stronger than anything, any piece of jewelry, crystal, mandala, or mantra. That's why many people start off doing and saying affirmations and nothing changes. Then they give up. It's because for change to stick, it has to be believed down to your soul. For those science minds, down into your subconscious. It has to become you. When we open up to the new world of spirituality, there can be a lot of distractions. We can go to a class, a workshop, seminar, online class every day of the week. There is no shortage of classes and things we can learn right from our own living room. Chakra balancing, singing bowl meditation, sound healing, essential oil workshops, past life regression, angel card workshops, polarity rebalancing, rebirthing. The list goes on. I know I've done it all. While they can be beneficial tools to help us on our road to self-realization, if we are not careful, we can get caught in the trap of always being a seeker. This can be a way of avoiding the real work. The real work is discovering for oneself who one really is. Like Morpheus says to Neo in The Matrix, it's not about knowing the path, it's about walking it. All knowledge comes through experience. Without experience, we cannot understand or learn anything. But we need the knowledge first. The truth shall set you free can only happen when we lose our opinions that's getting in the way, so we can remember what the truth with the capital T is. Don't keep searching for the truth. Just let go of your opinions. Chinese sage Lao Tzu. Self-knowledge. All types of knowledge means ultimately self-knowledge. Bruce Lee. In order to learn anything new or to recall wisdom from within, we must have an empty mind. I heard once that Bruce Lee would pour Coca-Cola into a glass and say to his students, "How can I teach you anything new if your mind is already full like this glass of Coca-Cola?" He would pour out the soda, then refill it with water, and tell his students to have a clear mind like the glass of water. We have many possessions, and not just material goods. We have possessions of the mind, preconceived ideas, spiritual pride, opinions, prejudices, negative limiting thought patterns and worldviews, academic distinctions, degrees, attachment to material organizations and status, etc. All of these preconceived beliefs prevent us from discovering the most important knowledge, self-knowledge, who we really are and what this earth gig is all about. Ignorance comes from a closed mind and too many opinions. You know what they say about opinions? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Most people, and learned people especially, have all kinds of knowledge that does not in the least affect or improve their practical lives. Doctors know all about hygiene, but often live in unhealthy ways, notwithstanding, and philosophers who are acquainted with the accumulated wisdom of the ages and assent to most of it continue to do foolish and stupid things in their own personal lives and are unhappy and frustrated in consequence. Now, knowledge such as this is only opinion or head knowledge, as some people call it. It has to become heart knowledge or to be incorporated into the subconscious before it can really change us. The modern psychologists, in their efforts to re-educate the subconscious, have the right idea, though they have not yet discovered the true method of doing so, which is by scientific prayer or the practice or of the presence of God. Emmett Fox from the Sermon on the Mount. The most important education is the one that is left out of our schooling systems. Tapping into the intuitive tools we already possess within, learning about universal laws of science and spirit, and understanding who we really are and why we are here. Fortunately, thanks to the internet, there are thousands of schools and teaching available online as the Age of Awakening has begun. When you operate on the basis of your so-called knowledge, you are operating without divine foundation. Belief in your own knowledge is not belief in God. Trust in your own knowledge is not trust in God. No matter how much you learn within your present framework of finite knowledge, it will never be even one step closer to an understanding of God, the universe, or yourself. Knowledge, as you presently understand it, will never bring you closer to life. Ken Carey from the Starseed Transmissions.